Have you heard of dream feeds before, but you're not sure what exactly they are and if you should use them and if they're going to stretch your baby's sleep longer each night? Watch this video before you jump into doing dream feeds at home. Hey guys, my name is Missy Yando. I'm the owner of Slumber and Bloom. I'm a pediatric sleep consultant and potty training coach. Please subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a video. Okay, so we are talking about dream feeds today, and first things first, what is a dream feed? A dream feed is when you feed your baby while they're sleeping, aka dreaming. So you are not waking your child, you are just feeding them while they're sleeping. And my opinion on this is really neither here nor there, and we will get into why my opinions are what they are, but I lean towards no-go on the dream feed, and we will talk exactly about that. So with dream feeding, typically one parent will stay awake until 10 or 11 p.m., feed the baby, and then go to bed, while the other parent goes to bed around like 8 or 9 p.m., anticipating that they're probably gonna be up at least one other time during the night to feed the baby, so that one parent is getting more sleep earlier in the night and then knowing that they're gonna be woken up in the early hours of the morning, and then the other parent is staying awake for the dream feed, and then they're not responsible for the morning feeding. So it is a great way to kind of break up that responsibility in taking care of the baby, but I don't love everything about it. So first we're gonna talk about the pros of dream feeds, then we're gonna talk about the cons of dream feeds, and then I'm gonna jump into some tips when you do choose to use dream feeds. So let's jump into the pros of dream feeding your baby. So obviously the very first pro when it comes to dream feeding is that your baby will sleep longer stretches at night. If your last feeding is around 7 p.m. and then you feed again at 10 or 11 p.m., that's giving your child 3 to 4 hours to digest all of that food and maybe possibly be hungry and need this dream feed, and then you give it to them without waking them up but still burping them, and then they're going to sleep a longer stretch at night. So there's one of your pros. Another pro that we already discussed was taking turns with your partners so that you're each getting an optimum-ish, when you have a newborn, amount of sleep during those first few months of having a new baby. It's kind of a good way to live in survival mode and to divide and conquer and split up the responsibilities of having a baby, because it's not just mom's responsibility to take care of the baby 24/7. Newsflash, it's not. Another pro is that you can introduce a bottle to your baby at a younger age. So a lot of times moms will use a pump to pump out some breast milk at a different part of the day to start building a stash, in which some of that stash can be used for the dream feed, or you could use formula. Nothing wrong with that. If your baby has to go to daycare or to a babysitter, or somebody else is gonna have to feed your baby, and if you're nursing and you're not gonna be able to be there to nurse your baby all the time, a dream feed might be a good time to introduce a bottle to your baby, because they're so tired that they're willing to accept kind of whatever form of comforting food is going to be given to them, just like you probably would if somebody came in your room with your favorite or your second favorite meal in the middle of the night and just starts spoon feeding you. So this is a really good opportunity to introduce a bottle to your baby. I will say, however, not every dream feed has to be bottle fed. It can be breastfed, but I'm just throwing it out there as a pro. Now, some of the cons are that it can be habit forming. Your child may actually start waking up and having a shorter sleep cycle and having not consolidated sleep at this time, because they're so used to being kind of aroused awake at 10, 11 o'clock p.m. that they may just start waking up that early in the night, which, I mean, honestly, your baby should be sleeping until about midnight before needing a feeding, but that's a story for another day. But your baby can just start waking up out of habit even if they're not hungry. On the flip side of that, your baby's stomach may just be accustomed to having this feeding at 11 or 12 at night, and they actually are hungry for it, which means they're not taking in the amount of calories that they need during the day. So now your baby is getting accustomed to eating less calories during the day, still having calories at night, when in reality you could replace the nighttime calories during the day, split them up between different feedings. If you're feeding 6 ounces in a dream feed, you can split that up 2, 2, and 2 into different bottles or different feedings, whatever, and your baby could be sleeping a much longer, more consolidated stretch of sleep and not waking up for this dream feed, because it's really not doing what you want it to do. And the other con is that it just might be hard to stop doing this because of all the aforementioned details, that your child might just be hungry for it because their stomach is expecting it, and their stomach may just be hungry for the bottle, and because they may not be getting all the calories during the day that they actually could be taking in. So if you're trying to decide whether or not you should do a dream feed, or if you're already doing it and you're wondering if you should continue doing it, here's some tips that can help you. Rule of thumb, if it's helping your child sleep longer and you're not waking up until around 3, 4 a.m. to feed your baby, then it's great, it's working for you. Then just keep doing it, and when you need to cut it, then we can deal with that. But if it isn't working for you, you're still up again at midnight, you're still up at 1, you're still up at 2, you're still up at 3, and on, then the dream feed, it really isn't doing anything for anyone, and it's really just kind of, you know, throwing more into the mix of having a newborn. So if it's not helping, don't do it. Now, with anything with sleep training and really kids in general, you can't just throw in the towel after trying a dream feed one time, or trying to not do a dream feed one time and your baby woke up at 10, so they must still be hungry. But like we said, they may just be waking up out of habit. So anything that you decide to do with your baby, whether that's to dream feed or not dream feed, you need to do it consistently, exactly the same every single night for 3 to 5 nights to see if it's working. And then if you need to change something, then you can go ahead and do so. So kind of my reasoning for being like neither here nor there with my opinion is basically just because dream feeds worked with 2 of my kids and it didn't work with my 3rd kid. And sometimes I just wonder, like, were we feeding the other 2 just out of habit because I had read something on Google that said dream feeds are great, your kid's gonna sleep longer? Because in reality, when I think back on it, like, I'm not really sure how much those helped. So I think it's definitely good if you are using a dream feed to experiment a few nights in a row, see if it's, you know, really making that big of an impact, and try to wean back and stop doing the dream feed and see if your baby will replace those calories during the day naturally, and if you can stop doing that. Regardless, between 6 to 8 months old, you should definitely stop doing the dream feed. But once again, every baby is different. You need to make the best decisions for your child because you are the parent, you know your child best. I just want to give you all the information that I know from my experience and my years of working with babies. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below and tell me, did dream feeding work with your child? Did you dream feed? Are you dream feeding? Tell me all the things. If you're looking for more sleep training or just baby sleep advice, check out this playlist right here. Check out this video here because that one I picked out just for you. And click here to subscribe to my channel and keep blooming. Mwah!